What is this? Japan is very upset with trash taste. Uh-oh! The demons, they are catching up with them! Alright, what happened? What's the situation? What's going on? They went off.
People in Japan are calling out the Trash Taste podcast. You know, you got Giguk, Sea-Dog VA, and Joey the Anime Man.
Mm-hmm.
This controversy specifically involves Joey the Anime Man. We'll play the clip. It's about 1.5 minutes long, and you can see that there's subtitles on here, Japanese subtitles, because again, this has been going around Japan. And then we'll take a look at what Japanese people are saying about it.
Okay.
Like, why is like so many anime set in high school? Why is that? Like, is that a cultural thing?
Yeah, it's a cultural thing.
Why so?
It's because it's, for a lot of people, like, high school is kind of seen as like this basically like golden time.
Classic, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really fucking classic.
It's like, for a lot of people, high school is like, you know, the whole thing of like, in the West, of like, high school is like, you know, usually movies that are based in high school in the West are based off bad memories.
Yeah.
You know, being like, oh man, my high school fucking sucked, blah, blah, blah. There were all these shit people, the jocks, the bullies, blah, blah, blah. Right? That's the norm in the West.
No, it's not. One of the most popular kids shows was like High School Musical. And it was literally a feel-good musical talking about how awesome it was. And yeah, sure, there's like, yeah, I don't know, I feel like this is such a dumb generalization. Yeah, I didn't like high school, but I feel like a lot of movies were centered around it because, you know, you're a teenager and it's a good time. Yeah, I still had a really good time. I played a lot of video games, I met a lot of people, like, yeah.
In Japan, it's glorified because to a lot of people, high school was a really fun time with like friends they'll never get back.
And even more recently, Stranger Things is an entire thing that was a glorified nostalgia trip of the 1980s set in a high school setting with high school kids. I feel like that's also not true even in recent years. You could argue High School Musical is like, what, like 20 years old now or some shit, right? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is kind of dumb framing. Like, I'm not the most normie consumer of media, but like, I don't know. I feel like this is kind of a dumb generalization in my honest opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's also the last years of that person being young and free.
I mean, I liked high school, but I wouldn't say Agretzko, the new season.
Oh, yeah?
That was good. That was good. Very refreshing.
Yeah.
Depressing as always.
Depressing as fuck, yes.
Which is great to see, because it's like one of the only anime out there that will actually like commentate on adult life in Japan and be realistic about it.
Yeah, but it also says a lot when no one knows about it in Japan.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It is.
It's so Japanese, but like it's such a good take on the Japanese work life.
Awesome.
How awful it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, it's ironic that this is coming from the same company that, you know, made Hello Kitty, right?
just to put it into perspective, like, stuff. And it's a shame that it's not being Japan, because I feel like it could make waves. Maybe it's too real.
I think it is. I think it's just purely the fact that, you know, a Japanese person will look at that and be like, I don't want to see this because it's just going to remind me of reality. And to a lot of Japanese people, that's not the reason why they watch anime.
Interestingly enough, Joey's answer is basically the same answer you get from Google when you type in why is so much anime set.
Yeah, and Reddit is not a good source for generalizing Japanese culture because Reddit is a very Western thing to use. So yeah, that's like this is kind of proving my point, right?
In high school. And Google actually sourced...
Like, just generally, Reddit as a source is laughable, but, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, Japanese have their own forums. They have their own social media. They only recently started using a decent amount of Twitter.
Is Reddit, so Reddit comments, you know, as if that's factual. It actually sources the clip that we just watched from the Trash Taste podcast.
And
some other, like, YouTube stuff, Anime News Network, CBR. These are not really great resources.
I would trust... like a Japanese source from the Japanese side of the internet. That's why it's hard to research without like knowing the language. It's the same thing with like Russian, Chinese, and Japanese. Yeah, like Japanese people don't fucking use Reddit. They just don't. It's not a thing for them.
like westernized stuff trying to answer this. And for those that don't know, by the way, Google somewhat recently signed a agreement with Reddit to use Reddit for training data for Gemini. So a lot of the time, and this is a complete side note, by the way, this is like a very important issue actually. A lot of the time when you Google something these days, it will source Reddit as if
yeah, I fucking hate that. It did that at the start too.
literal random people on
Hold on, I
Reddit
gotta
and
close
their
the
random
window. The
comments
fucking-
are factual sources
the
of
mowers
information.
are really loud.
Which they're obviously
Barely
not.
hear the video.
Now that aside, I went to the source of this clip, and that clip's actually from a 4-year-old video that they posted. So I don't know.
Wait. The source being me. I'm the source. Oh.
If their opinions on this has shifted or not.
Oh.
Nevertheless, it's in the news again now. So let's take a look at what Japanese people are saying about that clip. This account, Masaru, going on to summarize the clip that we just watched. And, you know, they're talking about, like, why is so much anime set in high school? And the user going on to comment this. I think this is a pretty sloppy take on Japan. First off, people who still love school anime, even as adults, couldn't possibly have had, quote, fun high school days, unquote.
Yeah, you're fucking weeb. Like, actually, though, this guy's cooking.
If anything, the ones who truly enjoyed high school probably don't cling so strongly to school anime even after growing up. Quick side note, by the way, I forgot to mention.
I
this
don't
currently
mind it.
has
It's all right.
Oh my gosh. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
Jesus.
This currently has
Whoa, the voices. The voices!
3.6 million views on Twitter and 12,000 likes. So let's continue where we left off. In reality, plenty of people would say their school days were awful because human relationships and their range of activities were narrow with no escape.
Yeah.
Plus, Japanese people don't just watch anime. Dramas and movies dealing with working life, poverty, family issues, crime, healthcare, and politics are normally popular too.
Yeah.
The explanation that, quote, Japanese people escape into anime because they don't want to face dark realities, unquote, doesn't explain Japan at all. Manga's the same. Say that after watching something I wish I could read. Too many overseas anime fans talk about Japan like it's a country made solely of shonen anime.
Yeah, it's a very, very dumb generalization.
Yeah, that's a hoodwee moment right there, isn't it?
As if Japan has not had a culture of like being brutal samurais and, you know, Imperial Japan, where they quite literally raped and killed all the way across Southeast Asia, made enemies of a lot of people. Like, I don't know. I think it's kind of like very nuanced, and that culture also, like, it still not that exists, but it still affects people in a way, right?
As a tourist moment right there, isn't
They
it?
were a barbarian
And even when they
people.
sell themselves as living
Very,
in Japan, they're people with hardly any connection to Japanese
Not
society, just
excusing
living
it,
within
it's
the
just it is
foreigner
what it
community,
is.
like the 3 people in that video. Living in Japan and understanding Japanese society are 2 different things, right? Don't go overthinking a few anime and your own experiences let you explain the values of over 100 million people.
That have been a culture for like literally thousands of years. It's just such a weird thing to say. Oh, Russians are only beer and vodka. Yeah. It's the same shit. Oh, Japanese people only eat ramen noodles and sushi. It's like, no.
Look, the fact of the matter is there's a variety of
Powell,
reasons
hell
why
yeah.
anime is sometimes set in high school. And one thing that people haven't mentioned yet is it is a narrative device. This is not the case all the time. Like I said, it varies. But one example is it being a narrative device. And what I mean by that is having a younger character.
I mean, for God's sake, anime set, like shonen anime, are generally catered towards children. Like, yes, I am a huge fan of shonen because I don't know, I grew up with it, so I guess like I have a bias. Some people don't. I like slice of life to an extent as well. Of course, it's going to be set in a stage of something that younger kids can relate to. It's so dumb. And like in Western media, it's the same thing. How many like cartoons are set in like fucking high school or just school in general? Hoodweeb Alana? I'm not a hoodweeb, bro. I watch all sorts of other shit, but I definitely have a hoodweeb bias for sure. Yeah, I do. I'll admit that.
That
I
character
like some
doesn't have
shonen
as much
slop.
history.
I do.
Now, of course, there's caveats
Revenge
to that too.
slop.
You could find a young character that actually has a very complex history or a traumatic history
Look at this guy trying to jump up.
There's times when a character is used,
Bro.
and it's specifically a young character is used rather, because they want to start with somewhat of a blank slate and tell the story from there. So that is another reason why you might see this happening on occasion. Also, the school setting is a very easy way to introduce multiple characters, obviously. So that's another reason too. My point is, like I said initially, there is a variety of explanations for this. It really depends on the nuance around the story that's being told. And in the responses, people also...
It's just arguing like a nothing burger. I cannot believe you made such a broad generalization that, high school is bad in the West, and like, we don't have that. It's like, what are we talking about? Jimmy Neutron, Kim Possible, like all these like little kids shows, which is essentially shonen is for younger kids. Let's be real.
Pointed out that anime is not the only medium that uses high school as a setting, and Western media actually does that somewhat frequently as well. So, that is of course also true. Legendary Drops, the man himself, also chimed in on this clip. He wrote, I'd assume most anime is in a high school setting because it's...
Legendary Drops, I feel like he only talks about like, culture war adjacent and like video games in general, like, flops and stuff. This guy who probably doesn't have a vested interest in fucking anime, even he knows.
It's predominantly made for 18 and under. Like video games, while adults take part in it, the vast majority of the stuff is made for kids. I don't think it's as deep as not wanting to face, quote, Japan's dark reality, unquote.
There are plenty of anime that are dark, dude. What?
Another Japanese user would also comment on the Trash Taste clip. Let's see what this one says. The reason there are so many school life stories in Japanese content is that it's a shared experience among Japanese people, but for Americans who face a crazy education gap and end up with totally different school lives depending on income or race, that just doesn't click. It's the sad reality of an educationally backward country that can't grasp the phenomenon of, quote, public education becoming a shared national experience on...
I mean, I can't argue with that. Yeah,
unquote. Similarly, we've got this take that says the reason there are so many high school settings is that high school is the last shared experience we can reasonably expect from readers, and that's the biggest factor. Quote, it's high school that's shown the brightest, unquote, is, well, not quite right, is it? If anything, for the otaku types, there are way more people who really come into their own after becoming working adults. Free from the shackles of money and obligations. I do wonder how accurate that translation was, specifically near the ending. And this explanation reading, it's because more than half of Japan's anime industry essentially belongs to the manga industry.
Well, yeah, because you have to base it on manga usually. Like, not a lot of them are from scratch. Like, yeah, there is. I would say there's a good portion, but a lot of them, they go from mangas. They get translated into animation.
Best-selling genre in the manga industry is shonen manga, right?
Yeah.
And lastly, this one with a variety of quotes that says, to put it bluntly, I can write about high school without research because I experienced it and remember it, so it's easy. I can skip explanations since there are so many parts that are common knowledge. It's more fun to write about spry young people. It's because of conveniences like that on the author's side that there are so many of them. By the way, I have zero desire to go back to high school. I don't want to do boring studying. You know what? We're so close to the 8-minute mark. Let's take a look at one more response. We've got, you don't understand a thing, do you? The vast majority of what they call anime are adaptations of manga. So where are those manga published? Most of them are in shonen manga magazines.
Even Naruto, one of the most popular fucking manga anime franchises that like most people know. It's not a high school setting directly, but it's like still a school. It's a fantasy school, but it's still a school. So yeah, like Bleach as well. It has a high school setting. I mean, like, it's like secondary, but yeah, like it's so dumb. What a dumb thing to say.
It's something you'd figure out with a simple search. They're just ignorant, yet they're getting all drunk on their own ideas. That's all. And that's the situation. Those are the responses. Let me know what you think about the latest. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week.
I don't know, man.
I'll see you in the next one.
I feel like if I was living in Japan and... Because I know they live in Japan, or at least like partially live in Japan. I feel like I wouldn't say dumb shit like that so confidently. How could you not know that? It just blows my mind. It's such a miss. I just don't understand how you say something so confident. Like the West doesn't have high school settings. What? What? Cringe, dude. Cringe. He's half Japanese in Japan. I thought Joey grew up in like Australia. So that would honestly make him more knowledgeable that the West actually does have a bias just the same as the Japanese do, because it's easy for kids to relate to, like, because everyone went to school. That's the whole point of like half of these tweets. Yeah, we all went to school. It was the last thing that people shared as an experience. It's easy to build up characters in a setting where you interact all the time. It's either school, work, or I don't know. Like I guess a military setting. That's like a good start, I suppose. Trash taste. Yeah, maybe they're living up to their name, huh? I don't know. This is dumb.
Oh, yeah.